Okay, here are some characteristics of spoken speech. There's redundancy. Okay, for example, there's grammatical structure and intonation of questions. Actually, class, by just looking at the grammatical structure, you would know that it's a question. For example, did you eat already? That's by the grammatical structure of that, you know it's a question. But but in speaking, you have an additional clue. That's when you raise the intonation. So you say, did you eat already? So you know that it's a question. But in written, you don't have intonation. That's one advantage of spoken speech over written speech. You have redundancy. And part of that redundancy are gestures, eye movements, like changes in breathing, maybe even how close you talk to each other, which we call proxemics. Then there's repetition. Okay, again, there's repetition. That's one advantage of spoken speech. There's repetition. Then there's also hesitation, which could indicate uh, either lack of confidence or you know that the speaker is trying to be careful. Okay, that's hesitation. Okay, and you also have grammatical repatterning when you speak. You can express the same idea in different grammatical patterns. Like you say, John and Joe went to the mall. Could also say John accompanied Joe to the mall, or Joe accompanied John to the mall, or John together with Joe went to the mall, or Joe along with John went to the mall. So when you speak, there's a tendency to repattern what you said to make yourself clearer. Okay. Now those characteristics allow understanding even of mutilated speech. Even if the speech is broken, you can still somehow understand it because of additional signals. Could be intonation, gestures, facial expression, grammatical repatterning, hesitation, repetition. Okay? So what happens is there's compensation. Compensation occurs. If you have mutilated speech, there's compensation that's happening. Which is why, class, impromptu speech is usually easier to understand than written speech, than a prepared speech.